Okay, happy Monday. I'm here with a new YouTube training. This week, I wanted to talk about quitting your job. Now, there are a few people who specifically came to mind when I decided to do this YouTube topic, because there were the people who, like me, daydreamed about going into work and quitting. You know, so like I quit, throw it in their face, like wonderful fantasy. Um, I want to help you keep your fantasy just a fantasy. I know, but I want to help you do that. And then there are the people who are letting the idea of quitting stop them from leaving because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. What if they get mad? You know what? They really need me. I'm very important to the team. I don't want to leave them in a bind. This is also for you. And the number three is obviously there are the people who are about to or just got an offer and need to know the literal how to quit. So if this is you, stay tuned. Hello, I am Sarah Curto, your friendly neighborhood career coach. I am the one to help, inspire, and guide you. That's my purpose in life, to intentionally focus on what matters most to you when it comes to your work, your impact, and your work life. And I do that through many different channels, but my one where I spend a lot of time is this YouTube channel, the free content that I deliver. Now, I come here every week with a new training video where I teach you the tools of the trade that I learned over the past 5 years, coaching hundreds of clients, helping 500 of them find careers they love, and spent 15 years hiring top talent so that you can find long-lasting career fulfillment and happiness doing work you love. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a single video. Okay, so how to quit your job and what to expect. So before you quit, I want you to keep in mind your notice period. So check your contract because there is like a standard 2 weeks, but there are certain cases where your employment contract may have stated 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I've had 3 months before, not for myself, but for a client. So you want to check that out. You also want to check how much vacation you have or that sort of policy. Now, you can use your vacation as part of your notice period if you want, or in Canada, they legally have to pay you out. So if you would rather have a little bit of a check, then you don't have to take it, and then they will pay you out as part of your last paycheck. Now, I always want you to be prepared that even if there is a notice period, to be walked out. So there are certain cases, and especially certain industries where this is common, where you quit and you aren't able to work out your notice period. They still have to pay you for the notice period, but they walk you out instead, which means a few days before, I want you to slowly start to pack up your desk so it isn't noticeable. Like you leave the top of your desk. So this is especially if you are in office, you leave the top of it fine, but your like drawers, clean out your computer. So if you've been keeping any personal things on there or email stuff, clean that up because you might get that tech taken away and you may lose a lot of stuff. I know a lot of clients who have been laid off or who were walked out and whose resumes and stuff like that were on there, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure you get all of that. Now, right before, have all your things ready to go just in case you're walked out. Like you may not even be able to go back to your desk. There is a rare circumstances, especially if you're going to a competition or you work in a very confidential type industry, job, company where you can. Now, if you don't know if this will happen to you, and you may think I'm over reacting, but I've seen it time and again. That's why I'm bringing it up. But if you don't know, I want you to think about others in similar roles at a similar level who have quit in the past. Were they walked out or not? But just in case, be prepared. It's just like a little less thing to worry about. Now, how to quit and maintain the relationship. The key really here is I want you to be gracious. I want you to tell your boss in person. So I think it's great to do it over Zoom, but if you have the opportunity to be in an office together, I think it's better. But Zoom would work. Video on, even if you never have your video on, have your video on. Don't do it over the phone. If you don't have to, definitely don't do it over email. Now, if their busy is usually hectic, then I want you to schedule a meeting with them the night before. Let them know. And when you're doing this, you're just going to let them know that you had something you wanted to talk to them about. So, and if you're approaching them, you let them know you have something to talk about that you wanted to do in private. So sit down, turn on Zoom and the camera, and simply state that you have accepted another position and are giving your 2 weeks or whatever weeks notice. And then hand over your resignation letter. You can also just state, I will send an email to follow up on this if you don't have a resignation letter printed out. There is literally no need to tell them anything more. If you want to, you can, but I think it's best not to. They don't need to know what job you're going to. They don't need to do any of that. Like, you don't need to let them know. You don't owe them that. But you do need to be prepared, because things can happen after you quit. Number one is they may be upset or angry. I want you to respect that feeling. A lot of people initially take a quit as a personal jab, even if it isn't, like, and sometimes it is, like, it is the manager you're leaving. But even if it isn't, they still do that. It hurts. It feels like rejection. So, but do not rise to them, meaning do not try and make them feel better by telling them stuff that you don't really want to be telling them, or by getting angry in return. Thank them for all that they have done for you. Instead of upset or angry, they could be desperate to keep you. And so then they can present you a counter offer. Now, I want you to think through a counter offer very seriously, especially if they are offering you something that you had asked for before and they said no. It should not take like an ultimatum, because that's what essentially a quit is, and them giving you a counter offer. It's like they think you've given them an ultimatum. And we all know that ultimatums don't work. Now, these stats that I'm using are pretty dated. I don't know what the updated ones are. I wasn't able to find them. But the stats were that a year after the counteroffer was taken, 3/4 of people were gone, either by their choice or by the company's choice, because there is an erosion of trust on both ends. Just because they've given you more money or a title change, it usually doesn't fix the core problems. And then the manager doesn't trust you anymore. They don't feel that you are loyal and committed. So if there is any layoffs or anything like that happening, your name is going to be the one on their mind. So you have to think hard about a counteroffer. If in fact you want to use an offer to get more money, don't do it in the offer. Do it beforehand. You do it before the offer, so it doesn't feel like an ultimatum. It's more of an asking for a raise discussion, and you're using the interview process, a potential offer, as market research, not like I'm leaving you unless. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, during your notice period, and that's the other part of the conversation I really want you to have with them, is that transition plan. What is their transition plan for you out? And then during that notice period, I want you to discuss what they want you to do and follow it. offload your knowledge, set them up to succeed on whatever you were doing, offer to help put together a job posting. This is going to really help with that gracious exit, especially if there was contentious, or for those people who don't really want to quit because they're afraid of quitting, they're afraid of letting them down or leaving them in a lurch. This is helping them set them up for success. And then on your last day, little things do go a long way. Bring in a treat or coffees for the team or key people throughout. If you're not working in person, you're working remotely during those 2 weeks, set up some coffee chats or quick Zoom calls so that you can touch base. Give your boss a thank you note, maybe with a gift card. And if you really didn't like them, just a thank you note. Be gracious, even if you're leaving a bad environment. If you were walked out, still send a thank you note to your boss. I think it's important to walk out with your head held high, not for them. We're not doing that for them. We're doing it for you, for your confidence, to set you up for success in your next position. So if you're desperate to quit or scared to quit, then I want to help you quit by joining us in the Career You Love Academy. And if you are quitting, like right now, I want to help you too, to transition into your new role and help you thrive. You can find out more about how I can do that with the link below. Otherwise, I'll see you next week with a new training here on YouTube. I cannot wait. Have a great one. Take care.